What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. We're going to dedicate this show to basically one story. All I'm really talk about is one story today. I may veer off a little bit, but one story. You know why? But because today in the news, there was one story running all day. Every time I looked up and saw something, it was running. If I saw, like a little clip somewhere, a little screen somewhere, it was running. I took about 30 minutes just to flip through different channels, and each channel was covering it. And I sat there on one show, and it was MSNBC. The first 20-minute segment was on this topic. Every show has been covering this all day, and I am going to cover it, but I'm going to cover it in a different way. With nothing, but like facts and intuition, and based off of some things that have happened that makes me skeptical as to how mainstream media did not see this, and this is their industry. Now, either they did not see it, or they were in cahoots with doing it, not necessarily knowingly, but financially, because it was the topic of the day. Hey, Rude and Planet Jen, I see you. Woke Mike, Denver girl, I see you. Is that Jazzy? But anyway, so all day today, I'm sure if you've been watching the news, you've seen it. I'm going to give you a definition of a term first before we go into what the actual story is. And it's called wag the dog. If you watch any kind of political show or, any kind of White House show, anything, back in the day, wag the dog has been around. This strategy has been around since like 1870s. I think the first time it was used in 1871. Around the time I think Abraham Lincoln may have been president in this particular area, but this is like 6 years before he passed away or something of that nature. But anyway, so Abraham Lincoln, and I guess I don't know if he used it, but it was during that time, and I think it was done by the Democrats at first back then. But it doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican. Wag the dog, and I'll give you the definition, is a political term for the act of creating a diversion from a damaging issue, usually through military force. Doesn't always have to be. It stems from the generic use of the term to mean a small and seemingly unimportant entity is the tail, controls a bigger, more important one, which is the entire dog, right? So you get them worried about the tail because the dog is the part they should be worried about. And in this situation, what are we worrying about with Donald Trump? This war he's possibly having in Venezuela, which he says he's going to go to the ground soon. If he has a ground assault, we're at war. There is no we're just trying to get drugs. No, we're at war. We're bombing another country. It is on. They bomb us back. It ain't a situation where they're just going to get bombed, just leave it alone. Right? Okay. So that's going to war. They need Congress for all of this. But those are the big issues. Democrats, Republicans alike, they don't want any more wars, money being spent. They're like, spend money on us, America first. And that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting a lot of these Republicans, not all of them, but a lot of these Republicans on her side, America first. Stay on our soil, deal with us. Stop trying to create more wars and spend more money for no damn reason whatsoever when people can't eat here and people worry about health care here and we're trying to take care of our infrastructure here and you going around collecting planes and all this other bullshit when we're going through it as Americans and shit. That's what most Americans are caring about, even Republicans. And that's what Trump is having a problem with, is that he can't control his own group of people. Now, MAGA, many of them are frustrated. Even the ones that haven't left him are frustrated about, what are you doing? You said you was going America first, America jobs. You even said you want HB1 visas or H1B, whichever one. I always get that, dyslexic with that for some reason. So all that shit's going on. Right? So this is what I'm talking about with wag the dog. All day long, every news station has fallen for the tail. And that's this bullshit story about Susan Wiles and what she said in this magazine. And the reason why I'm going to tell you why it's bullshit, because most of it contradicts itself, And the majority of it is shit that we already knew. It's nothing new, right? It just validates what the left and the far left and some Republicans with common fucking sense have been saying the entire time. And they jumped at it just because they wanted to be right for a minute and not focusing on winning the game, okay? What they should have been doing is still hitting him on the hard parts all day, the hard parts, and saying this, we already knew, move on to the hard parts, because this is just something that they threw out there for them to wag their little tails at and forget about this body of shit that's going on that Donald Trump is trying his best to throw everything at it. This fake war is a part of wagging the dog. Everybody's thinking about the war. You're not thinking about the Epstein files. All that shit. Susie Wiles mentions in the article, yeah, Donald Trump was with Jeffrey Epstein's and they were just like hanging out and being boys and stuff like that and being playboys, you know, rich playboys. Never minding the fact that she left out the part that Donald Trump has been married since 1977. He hasn't been single this entire fucking time. So she just basically said he was out there cheating on his wives the entire time, which we know. So what was new? Nothing. You know what was new? The left, mainstream media, got validated for all the shit they said. So they all jumped on it and spent all fucking day spinning their heads in a circle, chasing their fucking tail, when the body you didn't talk about all day, mainstream media. The real shit you didn't really talk about. You spent the entire fucking day, like they wanted, talking about this stupid ass article that doesn't do anything but validate the shit that we've always been talking about. I am not hungry or thirsty for your fucking attention so much that when you tell me I'm right, that I'm going to get all gleamy eyed and talk about the shit all day. I'm going to be like, I know. Now let's get back to the problem at hand. But that wasn't the news today. Why? Because the money whores. It was a topic that'd get everybody watching, advertisers paying, and therefore validate what they were saying. They kept it on all day long. Now, why do I say that this was wag the dog? Well, first off, the big tell of all of this was how Donald Trump responded. He called a woman who asked him a question that he had just said the day before or some shit like that, asked him a question, and she didn't say anything wrong, just asked him a question that it was hard for him to answer. He called her piggy. Another person asked him a question that he had already said he's going to do it. He said, you're not good and you're nasty and this, that, and the third. He always got adjectives and smoke for people who make him look stupid. Susie Wiles made this man look hella fucking stupid. His right hand, Ace Boone Coon, sitting next to him, knowing all the dirt, came out with some bullshit that we already knew about Donald Trump. And they spent all day getting away from Donald Trump shit and dealing with what Susie Wiles said. And both sides were validating Susie Wiles, left and right. They were too happy to get this dirt. See, this is where I have a problem with news. When you guys are gossip hounds, when you are sensational whores, you'll fucking find any small thing and blow that shit the fuck up. And all day, y'all was so excited. Oh, look, we was right. And we knew you was right. You glorifying yourself and your rightness is not the point. It's about continuing fighting. Once they said you was right, you said, told you so, move on, get to the dirt. That way, their wag the dog don't work. You spend an entire day wagging the fucking dog and shit, looking at the tail, the body just hanging out there. And that's what they're going to continue to do because you keep on biting on it. Continue to look for more shit like this to take you away from the real deal. See, what's coming up is the 19th. We got 3 more days before they're supposed to give out these documents for the Epstein files. You think it's not convenient that every day has been some kind of wild story? Them all about talking, I'm not going to show you. I'm going to show you show some of these senators and shit like that, the video of the 2 men getting killed. And then once they go there, we can't show you. Only show a certain amount of people and leave it to everybody else. Another news story. Everything outside of the way of everything we want. Now people ask questions, you know, what do I know what I'm talking about? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Check this out. He didn't have any smoke for Susie Wiles for ratting on him. This woman literally, let me give you a couple adjectives she threw at him. At this first of all, we'll go back to that in a second. I'll give you the characteristics that she gave, right, of some of these people. Let's get into it. This is what she called Trump. It's going to take a second for the kick in for some reason. This is what she called Trump. Alcoholic's personality. See, that right there is a strategy to give him empathy, sympathy, because you have empathy and sympathy toward alcoholics. His brother supposedly had, you know, a sickness. He was an alcoholic, and supposedly there was something that aided him in dying. He had said that before. You know, his dad, his uncles, his brother's alcoholic. He's never taken a drink in his life. But somehow the sympathy card of alcoholic's personality, people think that was a diss. No, it was a way to get empathy and sympathy. See, when you're an alcoholic, it's something that takes a hold of you, and therefore you don't have really responsibility for it. You kind of feel like it's something that takes a hold of you. It's like a disease. You can't stop it. So Donald Trump doing all this shit, he's not a bad person. He just can't stop it. He's got that alcoholic mentality. He's addicted to it. So you got to understand, you know, he could be better, man, if he just could stop being so much addicted. When we think about addictions, we give people grace. Strategy. There was no strategy for the rest. Everybody else's disrespects are disrespects. It separates them from Donald Trump. You have empathy for an alcoholic. You do not have empathy for a conspiracy theorist. You do not have empathy for an odd duck. And then she went on to talk about him doing ketamine and coming on for highs and all shit like that. She disses him, legitimately disses him. She legitimately disses J.D. Vance. She does not diss Donald Trump. It seems like it, but it's not. It is a way to build empathy and sympathy for somebody. He's like an alcoholic. Woe, it's me. He's addicted to it. Feel bad to him because he was just raised this way, or he just got, you know, caught up in this. But he's not really. She even made a fact to say he's not an alcoholic though. But you attached him to, or attached him to rather, an alcoholic. The adjective is there for a reason. Many of Donald Trump's followers are alcoholics. These, you know, people from like the South drink like crazy. They know who their people are. They got your phone, they got your numbers, they got your adjectives that you look at, they got everything. They know you look at the Alcoholic Anonymous, they know all that shit. They are literally trying to attach themselves to their core base. It's not necessarily to us, to their core base to feel for your leader. He's going through some things. He's trying in the country. Everybody's just loading on him. And he's just trying to get better. He can't get better. It's like he's in AA and everybody's dumping on him and not allowing him to be him. And, you know, that's why he has this addiction to get back at people. But if they just leave him alone, you know, he could do it. Empathy, sympathy, media, you fucking missed it. That shit right there is literally a strategic plan to get Donald Trump to be treated a little bit better and get away from what the media has been talking about. And you should know this. You're in the fucking media. Many of you guys were in politics. You didn't recognize Wag the dog? Please. Please. Nobody's that stupid. I know you guys aren't that stupid. You guys have built strategies like this. You pay during campaigns to figure this shit out. You can't tell me you didn't see this 4,000 miles away. They made it seem like this was Susie Wiles' article. That's all they talked about. They did not talk about the entire administration. Now, if you never got a chance, it's still up. You never got a chance to go read the Vanity Fair article. All day in the news, you would think, even though they showed pictures and things of that nature, you would think this was Susie Wiles' only article, just by what they said, not by what you read if you read the article. But if you did not read the article and you heard the news, all they were on was Susie Wiles. And that's the way it was painted if you did not read certain things. Now, here's the thing. By feeling that way, you would think that this right here would have had, Susie Wiles on the cover with somebody else, or with, whatever, just her in some kind of, maybe in her position, her job, or whatever it was. No, this shit right here had the entire administration outside of Donald Trump. And guess who was dead center in this article? Guess who was dead center in it? That would be Susie Wiles. Right there, dead center. It's a 2-part article. She's in the dead center. All the rest of these fools are in this damn article. Their pictures taken. Now, let's backtrack a little bit. If I say, people in this room that we all wanted to go and take a picture. I got a group, Chalk and Music Lab, to get my people together like we do and go to with the Texas last. We all got to make plans, strategize, know when this shit's going to happen. Then when we get there, we talk about we're going to take a picture. Everybody's got to get ready and say, oh, I don't have nothing planned today. I don't have nothing planned today. We can all just chill. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to take pictures today. That shit had to be planned and strategized. You telling me these fools all dressed up pretty much the damn same and this shit just popped up like, hey, man, come on, let's get a shot. Hey, no. Christopher Anderson had to get these fools together. They all have schedules to take care of our fucking country. They ain't got no free time like this. They got to set this shit aside. So these fools had this entire interview set up. Marco Rubio been going in and out of the country crazily. So they had this shit continually set up. This right here is a strategy. This is not no willy-nilly article that she decided to go get just because of fuck of it. This woman does not interview well. She is not Marjorie Taylor Greene. You ain't heard of this bitch. She is not somebody that gets into the news. She is not somebody who goes and get articles. She is a woman, her entire fucking career is hidden behind shit. She don't go out in the front of nothing. But guess what? Out of all these pricks and dumb shits, she's the only one that's got a credible actual background that doesn't appear to seem like too shady. All the rest of them, you ain't listening to them say anything about Donald Trump. She is the only one that can separate this shit and be able to say, oh, Donald Trump's this, and this dude's this, and this dude's validating the news, the left-wing media, so they can talk forever about them being right. Trust me, this is going to be longer than a day of news. News media just found out, left-wing, that they have been right the entire time. They are going to roll with this because their egos are big and they want to make money and they love sensationalizing shit, and facts come last. So this shit will last. They'll be talking about this by the end of the month. I promise you. It'll be still going. Why? Because all they got to do is leak another one of those little articles. They already got it planned, y'all. If this shit hit, there's something coming out tomorrow. This shit hit all day. So what are they going to bring out tomorrow? What's their strategy tomorrow? Or if it already lasts a week or so, or a few days or so, they'll throw something else out in the water. They got multiple fires that they're trying to put out. And this right here was strategized to give Donald Trump some breathing room. You're talking about Susie Wiles. She didn't throw him under the bus. She told the media exactly what they wanted to hear. And then, once she did that, you don't think her response was not already catered and put together already? Her response to this? To make it seem like you guys took it out of context? She knows they got video of this and audio of this. They can put it out, but that is more news. Call them a liar and more comes out. She put other bombs in this that this guy did not cover. I promise you that. This has been a strategy. This fool will feel like he's being disrespected because she's saying he's basically a liar. She said significant context was disregarded. Oh, his reputation disregarded. Now it's going to be time for him to try and prove himself, which means more news stories. You're going to throw something out there to validate himself. An audio tape may come out just so he could validate himself. The story will last another week, another 2 weeks. All the while we're trying to get healthcare taken care of over here. Mike Johnson fucking up shit. The war fake war they got over here with drugs that don't even come to America, that come to the Middle East not the Middle East, but it comes to to Europe, but not to the United States. That fake ass war, all that shit's wagged the dog. These people went to killing innocent people so that they could get this shit off their back. This is how bad it is for them. This is how evil they are. The people leading our country that MAGA put into place should be in jail for the shit they're doing. Killing people with no validation. Since when did we start killing drug dealers? Since when? On any kind of water. Since when have we been bombing drug dealers? They cared so much about drugs coming to America. Why they let go of the guy who's brought more drugs than any human being in the fucking country in history that we know of? 400 tons. And they just let him go. He had 45 years. We convicted him by peers and everything. 45 years he got. Donald Trump let him go while killing people for drugs over there that don't come here. He let go of a guy who brings tonnage of drugs into our country, killing American citizens. So tell me that's about us. Bullshit. So now we're the protectors of Europe, getting drugs into their country, while we let go of people who bringing drugs into our country. We ain't over here doing anything to China or Mexico. Those are the ones that bring in the most drugs that are killing our kids, our babies, our husbands, our wives. That's the shit. Why we bombing over there instead of over here? Because it ain't about drugs. It's been about oil this entire time. It's been about controlling another country the entire time. They want to invade Venezuela, take him out, put their own person in, and make a deal with Venezuela to take their oil. Because if we don't do it, some other country's going to do it. So it might as well be our oil. That's how these fools are thinking. So all these fires are going on, and out of nowhere, Donald Trump's right-hand woman, somebody he usually calls Susie Trump, he's so close to her, she threw him under the bus. Let me give you some more information. You don't believe it. Susie Wiles was on the show prior to this. Something like The View, but it's called The Mom's View. It's like sounds some conservative white women talking, I don't know. Just about their world, I guess. Susie Wiles, who doesn't do like interviews, she's not out in front. She's the person who handles business behind the scenes. All of a sudden is on a social media tour. It's crazy, huh? It's crazy because remember, just like, was it last week or whatever? It was like December 9th when Donald Trump did his speech again. He went out and went to another rally, which was sparse. The background was, the shot was so fucking tight, so tight, you could barely see anybody behind him. And even behind him, you could see the back wall. Used to be they hired so many people, they was holding up signs, you couldn't see the back wall because it just looked filled up. When the audience is clapping, it's not a roar. It sounds like it's a little gymnasium. I don't know for sure because they wouldn't show it. Nobody would show the full thing, which was odd. Because when there's a lot of people, he's like, go over there, look over there. Oh, look at my black. Oh, look over there. And they got it filled up. He didn't mention the crowd. The time that I saw it, I didn't watch it. He was on there for how long? The time that I was watching it, I didn't see the crowd once, just the back crowd. And he would point, but they would never take the camera to wherever he was pointing. You guys listen to the crowd. Whenever they clapped, which was rare, it wasn't a roar like it used to be. So they didn't get enough people in there to make this thing a hit. But prior to that, December, I think it was 9th or something like that, at least that article was written after December 9th, so I don't know exactly when it happened, but it was last week or so. There was a setup for Donald Trump to do that. Susie Wiles went on to this show, The Mom's View, and this is what she said.
This is such a great time for him to be in office.
It is.
He's such a patriot. He loves it so much. He's going to have a fun next year. But we're going to put him on the campaign trail, too. Typically, just a little bit of campaign speak, if I may.
Yeah.
Typically,
Just a little campaign speak, if I may. That's why she was there. You think this lady literally went there dressed like that, trying to go just talk about mom shit? She was there for politics. She's dressed like a politician. You think she came there and said, yeah, we feed our kids Gerber when we grew up. Yeah, and diapers. Oh, we love it. This trick wasn't there for that. She was there for politics. Because it's so weird how she mentions this about Donald Trump, and he went on a few days after this to actually do what she said he was going to start doing. And I haven't told him yet, but I'm going to tell him. Oh, that's crazy how you didn't tell him yet though you organized the entire rally just after this fucking interview, just like that. News, mainstream media, why didn't you add this shit up? Because you're too caught up in your egos, because they validated all the lies they've been telling you. You're a liar this entire time. One time they tell you the truth, that you're telling the truth, you're all over it. Trying to say, I'm right. And while I'm writing it all day, they're fucking everybody over behind the scenes. And as long as they can keep you feeling like you right, you're going to keep this shit on all day and all night. You gave the Epstein shit today very little time. No time hardly at all. Some of them I just barely saw anything about Epstein. You gave all the other particular stories very little time. You had whole segments and ended the damn news with this bullshit about you being right. And they were laughing at your ass the entire time. See, it works. They're too predictable. You're not fighting for us, you're fighting for ratings. If you was fighting for us, you would have saw this shit a mile away and didn't take it on like this. This is why it needs to be independent media. Because we can see through this shit for the most part. We got questions to why this shit is happening out of nowhere. Nobody questioned, why didn't Donald Trump get mad at her for literally calling him an alcoholic personality? You could easily take that the wrong way. And the reason why is because he's a part of the whole damn plot. It's supposed to give him some time, which it did. It worked. He shuts up when it works. When you hear her talk about him in this interview, she would never say those words about that man personally. She was hired to do this shit.
in the midterms, it's not about who's sitting at the White House. It's you localize the election.
Right.
And you keep the federal officials out of it. We're actually going to turn that on its head.
Good.
And put him on the ballot because so many of those low propensity voters are Trump voters.
Yes, they are.
And we saw a week ago Tuesday what happens when he's not on the ballot and not active.
He lost. That's what she saw. That previous Tuesday from this, they lost big time. So now they need to put him back in front of everybody because he draws people. Even though he's not on the ballot, we're going to put him back on the ballot. Even though everybody's saying he's a lame duck, we're going to put him out there just so he can get the crowds back into it and get these other people back into it. She even goes on to talk about Donald Trump's going to give some of his own personal money to some of these constituents, these people running for offices so they can beat the Democrats. I bet he won't. I bet he'll give us some of our money, though.
I haven't quite broken it to him yet, but he's going to campaign like it's 2024 again.
Oh.
She hasn't broken it to him yet. Since when is Donald Trump going to take her advice? She even says in this interview that he takes my advice sometime, but most of the time he won't. So you went on to a mom show of a bunch of Republican people with bad haircuts. You go on to that just so that you can sit here and say, I'm exposing it, and Donald Trump's going to do what I asked him to do. See, I went on news and told you. I went on some show and told you. He don't know nothing about it. Donald Trump knew exactly what this is all about. This is a strategy. A woman who doesn't do interviews is all over on whack-ass podcasts and on news stations talking about it and doing articles. That right there would be a media spritz. You're literally going on a media tour. Why would this woman who doesn't do media tours all of a sudden be doing media tours? And Donald Trump ain't angry with it. Like, half of you should be working, right? That's what he would be doing. You should be working, whatever, right? You should be right next to me doing this. Who's right now holding Donald Trump's hand and letting him know what time it is? It's day or dark. You ain't there right now. Of course, this is a strategy. You guys took pictures together. This is a strategy. This is a whole media blitz. And you want to sit there and act like, oh, I haven't told him yet. So where do you think you at right now? Grabbing a scone and some coffee?
For all these people that he helps. He doesn't help everybody, but for those he does, he's a difference maker. And he's certainly a turnout machine.
That was the main part right there. He's a turnout machine. That's all it's about, being a turnout machine. And that's the strategy. We got to get more people coming out, because without Donald Trump being on the ballot, without him going around spreading all this bullshit and speaking about snakes and shit and all this other crap, we ain't got nothing. So what do? They sent Donald Trump. Right after this interview, Donald Trump all of a sudden has a rally he's going to. Days after this, I thought you hadn't told Donald Trump, but you had just very little time. That was the 9th when that interview came out, when it came out on an article, right? And it was on the 9th. Here it is, the 16th, right? 7 days later. 7 days later. That's all it's been. And you went on this interview on the 9th. Donald Trump went out and gave a speech within this 7 days. You put together a rally in 7 days. Better yet, you hadn't told him yet. Went and told him that he's going to do it. Him saying, I'm going to do it. And then you went and scheduled it. All that within 7 days. Yeah. You believe that shit, media, mainstream media? That they just built this shit in 7 days? They Jesus? They just built it all in 7 days. Just 7 days. That's all they needed. Because it already don't happen. So it's less than 7 days. It took them less than 7 days. They didn't do it today. The article came out. This article came out today. This is a media blitz. And guess what happened? Donald Trump went onto this thing. Take care, woke Mike. Donald Trump went onto this thing, right? This interview, well, not interview, but this rally that he came up with. Last 7 days, came up with this rally. All right, let's look at it. He did this rally to try and fight back. You know what I'm saying? To try and come back. Well, nobody was going for an election that we know of. I know they had one in Tennessee or something like that, but I don't think it was the exact same day this thing happened. But he came out to feel the waters. Well, it wasn't full. The claps were whack. And his speech, even worse. Listen to some of the shit that he did while he was there. Take care, old Mike. That was
1 year ago, I was in Saudi Arabia. Somebody complained that I was making a foreign trip. I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. I brought back $4 trillion. They said, he shouldn't be traveling. He should focus on home. What the hell do you think I'm doing? And 250 Boeing jets. I brought back so much everything. Then they say, he should, the stupid people, they say, he should be leaving our country. Yeah, let's sit around and twiddle our thumbs. It's sort of crazy, right? But 1 year ago, the king of Saudi Arabia said it. He said, sir, 1 year ago, you were a dead country. Dead.
Now, here's the thing. This man heard the king of Saudi Arabia tell him that America was dead 1 year ago. And you don't protect America and say, fuck off, you always dead. What you gonna talk about my country like that for? He didn't protect our country because somebody else was leading it at the time. If this story is true, he wimped out and let another country tell us that our country was dead. It's like, if my country's dead, then who the hell are you? He didn't protect nothing. It tells you right there, he's a simp. Just the fact that somebody disrespected this country, but was about to give you a compliment of some sort that you believe, that you was okay with him dissing our country. I don't care how bad they're reporters. You got some work to deal with. Y'all a little weird yourself, bro. And all this other shit y'all got going on. And you wearing a robe all the time. What's up with that shit? It's hot as fuck out here. I would go in. Ain't no way in hell you're going to talk about me and ain't going to say nothing about you. This fool is all happy when they talking shit about America. How can you be patriotic if they're talking down about your country? And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump, within a matter of 8-10 months, he supposedly turned our country into something great. That's bullshit. Everything about this country has been going down the tubes, except for rich people.
They were focusing on China. They were looking for, who's next on line, frankly. And he's a good man. And the Emir of Qatar said it. UAE said it. The big company, the big smart country said it. We were a dead country 1 year ago. We were dead as a doornail. We were going down the tubes. And now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close.
At the end of that, there's nobody close. He always has to tell you what to believe after. What he says is nobody close? Then he turns around to the side. It's true. That's to tell you, believe it's true. I just lied to you. It's true. Why do you need to tell me it's true, bro? You have to validate a lie so that they can think it's true. The shit he just said, complete and utter lie. I don't believe any of those people said any of that shit to him. Why would they be caring about our country like that? And if they were, they would have got a mouthful from somebody who was really patriotic to this country. If I was the president, I'm running the country, bro. A year ago, I've been the president for almost a year. So you're telling me 2 months before I came in, we were a piece of shit? And this entire time that I've been in office, we were still a piece of shit. Because you said a year. It ain't been a year since you talked to him. It's literally been 3 months. 3 months. 7 months. You went there May of this year. It is now December. So it hasn't been a whole year. So he's saying this entire time that you've been there, it's been shit. And this dude did not protect America whatsoever. How you got somebody representing you and they over here talking about the other team, which just as bad, if not worse, dictatorship, that you listen to what they said about our country? Fuck that dictatorship. The fuck you talking about telling us what we got? You over here killing women because they can fucking read. Shut the fuck up. You back in the old days, man. Y'all ain't nothing but 30 years from fucking having camels as wives. What the fuck you talking about? The fuck you talking about? You ain't got no fucking telling us what we can do. Donald Trump sitting here allowing these motherfuckers to tell us who we are. The fuck is wrong with him? That's not protecting us. If that man said some shit like that, I would go in on him. No fucking sitting here, oh, he said he was great. Who gives a fuck what he said? You have to give a fuck about what somebody said to them to give you a compliment and you care about it. This man killed an American citizen, chopped his ass up because of some shit that he wrote. And you telling us he's a good man. Fuck you. You orange fuck. Fuck you. He killed American. And you did nothing. You wimpy ass bastard. Just sat there and kissed his ass because he got money. While he sit here and chopped up a human being that was an American, United States citizen. Get tired of them acting like this dude's patriotic. He's a piece of shit human.
Tariffs, and I told you, I was about to say that, because I love the weave. The weave. You know what the weave is? Go here.
It's called dementia, you dipshit. That's what the weave is. Dementia. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Bing, 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 bing. You always have to get back to the right location. But
ping, ping, ping. That's
otherwise they'll criticize you for straying from the speech. If by the way, if I read what's on the teleprompter, you'd all be falling asleep right now. But it's true, 1 year ago and during periods of time, I'd say.
1 year ago and during periods of time. He needs his pills, Susie Wiles. You need to throw up one of his pills so he can eat it. Chew it up for him. Spit it in his mouth like a bird or something. Because this fool is on some shit. So many periods of time after he says 1 year ago.
My favorite word is the word tariff. I love it more than any other word in the dictionary.
Look at the dude in the back with the weird hat. He's laughing about it, tariffs. Farmers are fucking losing their shirts and y'all sitting here laughing. You fuckers are American. You don't love America. Tariffs fuck our country up unless we have the industry here. Right? America doesn't buy all that our farmers actually make. If we could shut down tariffs, we could shut the tariffs and end up using all of and buying the shit from the farmers, yeah, farmers can do well, tariffs would work. But seeing as how we don't take all these damn soybeans and it goes to China and they buy a shit ton to keep these farmers with their homes and their land and their big vehicles and shit. People are selling their vehicles to pay bills. These $100,000, $300,000 farming equipment, they got to sell it. And this fool out here parading, love the tariffs. And these idiots in the background being paid with these bigger paychecks. Where? Lower prices. Where? Slow. Slow.
And the fake news said, that's terrible. What about God? What about family? What about religion? What about your sons, your daughters? What about how terrible that's? So I moved it back to fifth. I have it to fifth. And
now look behind him. You can count how many people behind him. He used to have these rallies where he paid for a lot of people. All the space to the camera left of him, with the dude scratching his glasses or whatever, all that blue backspace, the backspace is blue, would be covered up. And they would have it pulled out. They really didn't have this tight of a tight shot. So they want to see an audience. That's what gets him excited. But they never pulled out of this. So the audience didn't show up, and Donald Trump, he didn't show up. This man, ping, 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 ping. Say what? You're going to ping, 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 but you're going to tear down pieces of the White House and put gold all over the place and shit. And don't tell us where this money coming from. You didn't decorate it with your own cash, so we give you a budget, I'm guessing, to fuck up to fuck up the White House with this gaudy crap, turn it into one of your casinos that died. We didn't want that shit. We didn't ask for that. But that's what this man is all about. Just ping, 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 idiot. And these people put him in office. Nobody's behind him, barely even clapping for most of the shit that he's saying. They didn't earn their money, I tell you that.
now I'm in no trouble with the fake news, you know? They say, what about religion? They always find, so you have to weave a little bit with the punches. You have to go, you know, the boxers, you got to go with the punches.
This man is talking about weaving because he got caught not knowing what he was talking about a while back ago in one of his rallies. One of his rallies, and I think it was one of them I made fun of on Trump Whisperer Translating Stupid, where this man, you know, one of them, he did that shit. And a few other ones where he literally just kind of like went off the rails, and then he starts telling these side stories because he didn't know where the hell he was going. And because of that, this man started coming up with something he made up or somebody gave to him. Oh, I do the weave. You got to go to weave. And the idea that somebody really thinks that's a thing. I mean, seriously, it's like special ed on steroids. I mean, what in the hell? You really think that this man came up with a weave that he would strategize to go off topic so that it wouldn't make any sense, and then he'd come back to it later and it still doesn't make any fucking sense, but that's supposed to make sense? Jesus Christ, man. The hell was that about? But getting back to this entire thing, Donald Trump bombed. This entire thing that I'm talking about is Wag the Dog. The media all day was going all over the place talking about Donald Trump via Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles is a sycophant. She's been with Trump in the first administration and here now. And in order for her to be here, it would have to mean the people that she even talked about hired her. She had labels for other people who did Project 2025. She talked about the hiring process and that she likes what's her name, Kristen or whatever her name is, the speaker, Caroline Levin. She likes her, and it was a good hire. We all know that she was hired from Project 2025, and they actually strategized and made sure that these Stepford wife type people were in order. They taught them how to do their shit, exactly what to do, how to say it. They were in training like it's a fucking war to take over a country. Every last one of them have been trained to do their position only one way. And if they're loyal to the plan of Project 2025, they couldn't get hired unless they agree with that. Mika Metacroft was talking about that too. That was a dude who helped write Project 2025, and he's a sidekick to the guy who created it, and that's behind it all. And she gives him a nickname too. Something about him being some kind of staunch conservative wingnut or some shit in that nature. But we're sitting here with all of them playing games in our faces. They know exactly what they're doing. And the media, I don't see how you didn't catch this shit. The thing is about Susie Wiles, but it has 7 people that are supposed to be working a lot, but somehow they have time for a photo shoot like they're on GQ. They're on Vanity Fair, and she's in the middle, like the ringleader. Whenever you see a shot, I'll show you again, you see a shot like this, do we have it? Yeah. Whenever you see a shot like this, you think like The Godfather, you think of something like that. She is the one empowered. In this one right here in the black and white, you can see she's up in the front. No matter what, in both pictures, she's pushed more up to the front than everybody else. Everybody else is playing a back seat. She's up front. Take it to the other one, she's in the center like The Godfather. Everybody else is surrounding her. She's sitting dead center at the head of the table. She's orchestrating it. She's the only one that really has credibility amongst both sides of the parties. And they think that this woman is level-headed. How? Around a bunch of nut jobs. So they validated this story. Media, MSNBC, CNN. Fox kind of had a question. The Latin guy in the morning, forgot his name. He kind of had a question that kind of shady. I was like, oh, Fox actually had a little wavering moment like, this doesn't make sense just yet. It shouldn't. It makes absolutely no sense. It's Wag the Dog. They're literally making this shit up. They're structuring it so that you don't pay attention to the crap they're doing. You pay attention to the shit that they're pushing your direction. And it took over the media all day. Let's see what it does tomorrow. Let's see what it does tomorrow. I guarantee her response to the writer of this, and that being Chris Whipple, her response saying that he took things out of context will only produce either audio tapes to prove that that was not out of context, because his career, his ego is something that she's effing with. So he's going to have to say, oh no, listen to this. I didn't take it out of context. Listen to this. And because he wants money, because he wants people to pay attention to him and come to his site and get paid and all that shit like that, he going to do exactly like all the rest of these people with Jeffrey Epstein. You got, Michael, I remember his last name right now, but Michael. And then you got Michael Wolff. And then you got the other, not Bernstein, but it's another one. Bernstein does it too. His last name is Bernstein. But there's another one that held the article about COVID till he wrote a book about it. This man had audio and everything of Donald Trump saying that COVID was way worse, 5%, I mean 500 or 5,000% worse than it actually was, or 500% than it actually was. He was sitting there talking about it was just like a flu. It's 500 times worse than the flu. And he was lying about it. That shit came out after millions had died, or a million had died, and other countries had died too. But in this country, about 1 million people had died at this time. This man knew about this early on, interviewed Donald Trump early on, and didn't put it out there to tell people to beware. He wanted to make money off his article. Lives could have been saved, but no. Their thing is to make money and make their reputation. I got the information. I'm not going to put it out till later. To me, you're not an American. You're not a patriot if you're waiting on the dollar bill. When your brother and sister next to you, if they'd known this information, they'd be still alive today. You went off of paper and not people. You wanted this weird-ass power and fuck the people. I'm getting tired of those type of people in this damn country. You can make your money without fucking everybody over. There are people who lost their children, their family members, their loved ones, their husband, their wives, because you wanted to make a buck to be the only person to break something, but way too fucking late. You saw people walking without their mask, and you had information of the president lying through his teeth, and you didn't put it out. Just fucking insane, man. Green, money, so fucking important that a person didn't come home and see their wife that day. When you found this out, there were so many people that you turned on the news that you could have gave them this information and they might be still alive. You have no feelings whatsoever toward the fact that you could have saved a few 100,000 lives, but you chose not to so you can make a few $100,000. What is a life worth to y'all, man? It's crazy. We live amongst demons, y'all. We live amongst demons. A dollar sign will make these people act so stupid when all it is a piece of a fucking tree. People aren't going to see their babies grow up because these assholes wanted to make a buck. Ugh, can't stand them. But that is what we learned today, is that these people, the way it's set up, let me get this put together real quick, is they created this wag the dog type of thing where they have put Americans in a bad situation. And the media has fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker. They're out here literally acting like they're doing something. I'm like, how are you doing something when all day you stayed on a story that Donald Trump didn't care about? He did not care about it. He blew it off. But the media wanted so bad to be right, which they were already right. You don't need validation for being right. You had the facts on your side. You could have covered that shit in a quick little segment and moved on. You talked about it throughout your entire show. And that's going to be uploaded to your website, and then that's going to be uploaded to all these MAGA people, and they're going to put that shit all over the place. You guys following down this rabbit hole. And they're going to have sympathy for Donald Trump because that's what it was built for. That you guys are all going after him. So what if he was wrong? You know, they said that he can shoot somebody. They don't care. They just pissed off at you guys hunting him. That's it. They don't care what you're hunting them for. As long as it ain't got nothing to do with their particular family, they don't care. How about you guys hunt down the facts and just keep it at that? Quit hunting down these rabbit holes that literally this woman works with Donald Trump, took pictures with the entire crew, said something out of pocket about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is like, oh, well, and you guys ran with it. You should have saw this a mile away that something was wrong. None of you guys' alarm bells went off like, please don't run this shit. Don't run this. Don't run this. Don't run this. I mean, mention it real quick. and say, this is kind of weird, and move on. Nope. Talked about it all day. So anyway, I just wanted to break that down, that this is Wag the Dog. So please, media, if you get a chance to hear this shit, stop following this shit down the rabbit hole and instead do some investigative reporting and find out how the hell this shit and why the hell this shit didn't work. When you see Susie Wiles again and she walk in the halls, ask her, so when did you guys decide the Wag the Dog was going to be your effective choice to be able to stop everybody from, going at you? Because it didn't work. But it was a great try. How about something like that? See how they react. Ask them like, oh, so when did you guys decide to have this, Vanity Fair article? You know what I'm saying? You guys were all dressed up for it. You know what I'm saying? You had the same kind of like colors on, this little red tie thing going, except for the one guy with the blue. And then, two guys I think were blue. Then she had Levitt had on all red. They was all supportive of Trump, and you was in the dead center. I mean, it really was a power picture. What's going on? I would literally get into them about it and say, so when did you decide to house this plan together or put it together? When'd you strategize? Because you went on that mom's view, and then right after that, Donald Trump went and spoke, and that didn't work. It completely bombed. Everybody talked about it. Even Fox was like, it was weird. He was just talking about, okay, wasn't really good. It bombed. Instead of you having another rally, because you only put it together within less than 7 days, so you could have had a third one by now. But no other ones were planned just yet. And then you throw them out. Then you throw your fucking article out. What next? What's part of the next strategy? What's coming out next, Susie? Are we going to see something else coming out? What article is coming out next? What's the next strategy? I need that reporter in the White House asking the questions. None of this simp shit. Ask the questions. I'm an American. I want to know. These are the questions I want to know. If they're not being asked, this is not what you're doing for the American citizen. You're asking questions that somebody don't give shit about, because we give a damn about why in the hell did they put this together. Susie Wiles, you're never really in the media. You kind of like sit back and orchestrate things. Why did you end up having the article instead of like a Carolyn Levitt and why were you all in it and it was really about you that they brought out? Was it something that, yours was more important or stuck out more? Did they say something else? What is it? I would ask these questions because they need to be known and they need to be exposed. You got suckered, mainstream media. I get it. Now get your ass back up from being suckered and they stroking your ego about you being right about shit that we already knew you was right about, and get to doing your job and asking questions about this Wag the Dog shit. It's been around since 1871. You should have recognized this shit. You're in the media. You know publicists. You see the strategy. I would be doing an investigating of they had to go to a public strategist or a publication or some kind of strategist to actually do this. Who was it? Did he come to the White House? She come to the White House? Did they sign into the White House? Can you see the paperwork? Who did they hire to do this? Because they hired someone to make this strategy. Every one of them are too damn stupid to do it. Except for Susie Wiles. I don't know her that well. She might have been able to do it by herself. Her background, she might have. But Carolyn Levitt, nope. Nope. You can't say big ears over there? No, he ain't doing it. Marco Rubio, Marco Dumbo, he ain't do it. I don't know the Hitler-esque looking white dude in the back. I don't know who the hell he is with the Hitler haircut. I don't know who he is. Right? Don't know the bald-headed white dude either in the video, in the picture. Susie Wiles, she might have been able to do it. But nobody in this group could strategize or put, their publicist has got to be like big. And it might be Roger Stone. I don't know who put it together. But if you're an investigative reporter, find out. That way you can have a huge story you can break and you can run that all week. How about that? That's what I realized was going on. And I did some research on that wag the dog thing to kind of make sure that, does it fall in line with previous like wag the dog, strategies. And it does. It does. It's a situation where it's highly plausible that this is what they're doing based off of what they've done so far. And by looking at the research, one of the things that it said that is a red flag is how Donald Trump reacted. I knew that myself, but when I researched and started looking it up, the way he reacted, if he did not get upset like he normally does, he doesn't have his normal patterns. If somebody asks him a question of some shit he said and he can't remember, you're piggy, you're a bad reporter, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're the R word, whatever it may be. But you never get any kind of love. Even if you're somebody who works with him, he lights into you. And he'll fire. What that right there, what she did, what she said, if you took it the way that most people took it, he would have fired her. If that was the real meaning of what it was about, he would have fired her in a heartbeat. Called her a traitor. Marjorie Taylor Greene did less. Marjorie Taylor Greene was still loyal to Donald Trump. And even when she was talking about the Epstein people, she was saying Donald Trump's not really, part of it. He's not in it. They ain't even after him, blah, blah, blah. She literally was trying her best to stay on Donald Trump's good side. And in this article, this woman calls Donald Trump an alcoholic like personality. Addictive, walking around inebriated. She would have got fired, yo. She's still working and he got much respect for her. How? That right there should have told the media something's wrong. And none of them caught it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Good night, Monica Meadows. Enjoy your meal. So yeah, that right there, Michael Bruce, Roger Stone, probably. I mean, I'm telling you, they had to have a great publicist for this. This was wag the dog, and they can look up like who is the best wag the dog type of publicist. I don't know how you find them, but they had to have come to the White House, and if they still have the records of who comes in, who goes out of the White House, they should be able to find it, get a FOIA. Freedom of Information Act, find out who's been frequenting the president or whatever, or Susie Wiles, who's been coming to see her. I guarantee you there's a publicist somewhere or an entire team somewhere, because this right here, wag the dog. Wag the dog, 100%. Media's chasing the tail and leaving the body alone. You guys been doing this too long to be sucker for this shit. Become journalists again and not sensationalists. It didn't take much to figure out that there's something wrong with this. Just Donald Trump's reaction automatically told you something ain't right. He had to be forewarned, had to be a part of it. His reaction was like, psh, and you guys kept running with it, even though your thing should have been like Donald Trump's response to it all. He's calling people fatties and porkies and all this shit for way, way less. And the reason why they're doing it, is to get you away from talking about the real shit that's destroying his campaign, that's destroying everything for the Republicans. They want this leadership bad. They're trying to turn the tides on Democrats and liberals, trying to put whatever blame they can on Democrats and liberals. They want the media to stop talking every day about Donald Trump and how bad he is as a leader. Stop putting out these polls about how bad he is and how, and it ain't the mainstream media's, the conservative media. A lot of these are Fox polls that are coming out saying, they don't, 30% don't want to, that trust them and shit, 35, 30, whatever. And 67% like don't trust them on the economy. These are Fox polls, but this man wants to get away from Americans hearing the truth about how their thing is doing. Talking about, how many jobs that we lost And then this past month, I guess November, we created 64,000 jobs. Well, they re-up the previous month, the next month. So in January, or even in this month, if they release this month's numbers, when it comes out in January, it'll give you December's numbers. They will recalibrate November's numbers. November was 64,000. That might be negative 150. They always, pretty much always, it's a majority, it tapers down. Sometimes it goes up. It could go up to 80 or whatever as opposed to 64, 65. But more than likely it went down because everybody I've been talking to who's looking for work say it's hard as hell, and they're qualified people. So yeah, we'll see. And it's crazy how they brought it out, and it's weird because I don't trust it. They have literally ruined my trust in anything that comes out if Donald Trump's people are in there. Now, I didn't go to see if, and it's supposed to be these, the governors or whatever is supposed to be in there. So this person that Donald Trump put in shouldn't have been able to change anything. So, I'm going to go ahead and look at it and see if any of them have written any kind of doubts or anything. They don't really write anything, but I'm going to go check that out and make sure how valid I can believe in that. I wonder if there's any kind of Freedom of Information Act for that. I can get some information about it. I'm not sure, but I'll look into that too. But yeah, MTG, Vera can't be trusted. No, nobody trusts in MTG. Never. Like, here's the thing though, like I said the other day, trusting and agreeing on things that we agree with, totally different story. We agree on releasing the Epstein files. I can agree with her. I can stomach her for that. All the other nonsense she's been saying, she goes back to batshit crazyville for a minute. And I'm like, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So you give it to her, she's right on that topic. But the other things, nope, not happening, Jack. Good night, Mark D. Take care, brother. I'm about to get out of here, actually, myself, too. I was going to just talk about that one topic. I wasn't really going to go anything else. Keep watching on the future of what this story is going to develop into. I promise you that if the media actually follows through on any of the shit I said, investigative reporting, they'll find out this is Wag the Dog. Too many of the things fall into line. And the biggest of them all is that he's not lighting into Susie Wiles. They had, I forgot to tell you, they had a media blitz of these individuals, the Marco Rubios. I don't know for sure it was Caroline Levitt or the other ones, what they were saying. But on different shows, they pieced together each person's Twitter response to this, and they're upset or some shit. I didn't read all of them, but they were talking about it in the package. And they were just saying, these people were irate of what Susie Wiles said about them and blah, blah, blah. Well, Donald Trump didn't have no smoke for her. And this whole everybody being upset and everything, more fodder for this whole strategy. Because you guys talked about it. And now you got a whole week of walking up to these people that had this conversation and say, what do you think about what she said to you, about you? And that's a whole other media blitz where we're not talking about Donald Trump. You're chasing these dipshits around and trying to get sound bites from them to make your news important about this story where mainstream media was right. We already knew that. Move on already. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Love y'all. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow around the same time, same channel. We're going to do our thing. I'm going to do more than just one topic, I'm pretty sure. Get back to the regular. But I really want everybody to sit on the fact that what just happened today, look forward to it again coming up. Another strategy for them to stop talking about the shit that we care about. We'll have, right now we have 3 more days until the Epstein files are supposed to be coming out. I don't know whether the House Democrats and I know there's the committee, oversight committee for this, whatever, if they're going to release any more documents. They said they had a crap ton of them, but they only released like so much of them. They should have went through them by now, and there should be another dump coming pretty soon. Seeing as how they had like a lot of them come out in one day, and they said they had like 95,000 or something like that. Well, we waiting on the rest of the 75,000. So don't forget to release those Democrats and Republicans if you want to. That being Thomas Massey or MTG, go ahead and release them. The ones you do have that came from the estate, and the ones in from the previous case, the grand jury, and the 2019 case should be released, at least most of it by 2019, by the 19th of this month. Chuck Schumer said they was going to have some kind of lawsuit. Try to, if they don't get all these files back. But keep your mind on that. The 19th is the date. We'll keep talking about it. Everything else, you guys have a great night. All right? I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much, Denver Girl. I think it's Jazzy, Vera, Nina, DJ. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you when I see you. If I can get this thing to work. Y'all take care.